The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, I'm Jasmine Iru.
I'm Terry. Join me later on in the bulletin for all the sports news.
In this edition, Marpes says FIPIC on schedule, lay residents complain of stench, and NSI ready for championships. Papua New Guinea, for the first time in history, will receive a Prime Minister from the Republic of India on Sunday, the 21st of May. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will join other Pacific Island leaders and Prime Minister James Marape on Monday, May the 22nd, for the third Forum for India-Pacific Islands Cooperation.
Prime Minister James Marape says preparations for the third Forum for India-Pacific Islands Cooperation on May 22nd is on schedule and within budget. Marape appeals to Papua New Guineans to embrace the leaders who will be arriving in Port Moresby for the forum.
We will be meeting as scheduled on Monday. India Prime Minister is coming in 10 o'clock Sunday night. Full protocols will be accorded to him with a 19-man gun salute. I just want to continue to appeal to our people. As Melanesians and as Papua New Guineans do, we are hospitable people. We rise up together as one to welcome our leaders from the Pacific, our friend and leader of the 1.4 billion people of India who's flying into our country Sunday night.
Marape says the arrival of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday, May 21st, will open up a third dimension into PNG's geopolitics. We have our traditional allies in the traditional defined West. We have our traditional allies in the East and more so closer to home, the Asian economies and Asian countries. But with India now coming in with specific bilateral meeting with PNG, and a greater focus on Pacific, it opens up for us a new dimension, and for us a security of a place available for market, for commerce, for trade, and for our sourcing technical capacities, sourcing other capacities we may source in as far as bilateral relationship is concerned. Furthermore, Prime Minister Marape announced that the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will be arriving in Port Moresby on Monday, May 22nd around 4 p.m., shortly after the departure of Prime Minister Modi the same afternoon. Maricela Kelaton, TV1 News.
India's High Commissioner to PNG in Basika, Sundaramurthy, in a press conference today emphasized that India's focus in the Pacific is on areas of strategic and commercial interests. The FIPIC initiative marks a serious effort to expand India's engagement in the Pacific region.
Because right now the agenda of the summit is a development cooperation. Because I would say the pressing problems of the day are climate change, climate adaptation, feeding food security, energy security. Prime Minister James Marape talked about how it is he finds it difficult to light the regions around this country. That the FIPIC summit is all about bringing, to put Pacific on the map on both sides. You see both sides, both Indians and the Pacific leaders need to be educated about each other's importance. We know each other in somewhat way, but we need to go. Shall I say, in India, people know about Fiji to some extent, but many of them they don't know. It's just a word. So this is the idea, to each one to know about each other, to familiarize with each other, to bring out the best of each other.
A bilateral meeting between Papua New Guinea and Fiji took place this morning at the APEC House in Port Moresby. Prime Minister James Marape announced that agreements to establish respective high commissions in Fiji and PNG were made.
Prime Minister James Marape announced that agreements to establish respective high commissions in Fiji and PNG were made today during a bilateral meeting with Fiji's Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka, who arrived in PNG on the afternoon of Thursday, May 18, for the third Forum for Indo-Pacific Islands Cooperation on Monday, May 22nd.
Fiji is back. They have not been gone. COVID-19 made them go back to Suva. They are back. They're here. They brought with them our former ambassador who was here, Ambassador Tiki Tua, who's back here with us. And I want to also announce to the country and to Fiji that we've appointed a High Commissioner, Ambassador designate already, and the Cabinet is in the process of releasing him. He's a senior public servant in Waigani. He will be very soon notified, and he will be released to serve in the office in Suva.
Fiji Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka highlighted that bilateral discussions that took place today included investment expansion plans between both countries.
There's a lot of PNG investments in Fiji, and we're also looking to grow our investment in Papua New Guinea. Hopefully, when those investors from Fiji come, they will come in a new package with active participation and ownership of indigenous Fijian interests, with the use of Fijian holdings and Tauke Trust Fund, being in partnership with some of the standing and successful businesses at home who will take up the opportunity to also invest here in Papua New Guinea.
Prime Minister Rabuka is grateful and says the Fijian delegation is impressed with the degree of sincerity and the depth of Papua New Guinea's feelings expressed in the ceremonies, presentations and welcome. Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
The National Fisheries Authority has joined forces with researchers from the University of Technology in Sydney to conduct a survey. The aim is to gather vital information on the contributions of tuna fishing and processing to sustainable development. The National Fisheries Authority and the University of Technology in Sydney have partnered to conduct a comprehensive survey assessing the socio-economic impact of tuna fishing and processing, aiming to promote sustainable development in the industry. The survey will encompass both small-scale informal activities and large-scale commercial companies involved in tuna fishing and processing with the economic sector. By collecting data on 9 key areas of sustainable development, such as economic growth, social equity, and environmental sustainability, the survey seeks to evaluate the impact of these activities. This initiative is expected to provide crucial insights into the role of tuna fishing and processing in supporting sustainable development in Papua New Guinea. Additionally, it will help identify areas where improvements can be implemented to ensure the long-term sustainability of these activities. The PNG NFA is dedicated to promoting sustainable fisheries within the country and is delighted to collaborate with UTS researchers on this significant project. The survey will primarily focus on the major ports of Lae, Medang, Wewak and Rabaul, which are key locations for industrial tuna processing. The survey is scheduled to conclude by the end of this year, and once completed, the findings will be utilized to shape policies and inform decision-making processes within the offshore fisheries sector. People living along Lae's 13A route have for years now been subjected to pollution from food processing facilities at Malahang. Residents are calling on relevant authorities to look into the waste management methods of firms near the Malahang Industrial Center. From Bumbu, Gravel, Butibam, and all the way to Malahang, the unmistakable stench of fish wastes assaults residents and commuters' nostrils, especially when it rains. Community leader and senior citizen of Lae City, Sasa Zibe Kokino, said he has been advocating against this waste management issue from the 3 fish processing facilities at Malahang since last year. Zibe Kokino even submitted a letter to the Lae City Authority in June last year regarding the improper industrial waste disposal, but is yet to get a response. Health concerns have also been raised by residents at Bumbu and especially the Butibam Health Center, which closes its doors when the wastes mixed with floodwater spill into the clinic. Volunteer teacher at the Ampuk Elementary School at Bumbu's Warrior compound shared Zimbe Kokino's sentiments. Emily Robert, who has been volunteering at the school for 3 years now, said numerous complaints have been forwarded to the LLG and district leaders following disease outbreaks, but to no avail. She repeated her call to the AHI LLG president, Malcolm Kalo, to assist his ward.
I'm placing out in President Malcolm. I'm la AHI ward too, so I'm looking at this area for come. So I'm need lo kirap na lulu ko this la issue. I'm sorry, but why I'm not like kirap na meeting? I'm so school staff player. I'm come to school and witnessing got something, but why not like kirap na meeting?
When asked about the issue, the scientific officer of the Conservation and Environment Protection Authority, Shirley Mole, said SIPA is obligated to perform its roles not only to the permit holders but also to the public.
If there's any complaints and all that, we accept submission to come through a certain media where we get from the provincial administration for Lays, Morabe Provincial Administration, Lay City Authority. Bring your complaints over to them so they can get the SIP officers to deal directly in the area that's impacted.
You're watching TVWAN News. After the break, Yalubo Water Project and Gold Entertainment announced.
It was during and after COVID that really motivated me to want to take up life insurance. I think savings is very important, and I think One Talk Delight provides a disciplined approach to savings, and it's a good investment to want to think about the future, because it's always nice to have plans for what you want to do later on.
With you for life.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell Rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day.
Skell Rice. Skell Life.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Our journey starts with you. We'll be there from the start, right through to your life's adventures. We'll ensure comfort and make your safety our priority. We'll take you to memorable moments, no matter where it begins. And we'll get you there like we've always done. The 4th generation coaster bus, more than just a bus.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
The nation sits on the edge of its collective seat. Yes, they are! It's on! There are punches! Really played it brilliantly in the end, and they've got another one. McAdams, sideline to go in with a right foot finishing there. Went like a rocket. He is going to go for goal, and he scores it buzzing.
Welcome back. Yalo villagers in the Wampa rural LRG in Morbe province recently welcomed much-needed water supply. Ahi Hope Foundation inaugurated the Yalo Bore Water project on Saturday, the 13th of May.
It has been years since Yalo village, which is one of the 6 Ahi villages in Morbe, had running water. The Yalo Bore Water project, valued at 245,762 kina, was opened on Saturday, May 13th by the Ahi Hope Foundation, Ahi Prudential Development and village elders. Women leader Ngawi Bunos said they used to have running water from a dam until around 3 years ago when youths in the village damaged some pipes.
Pasin blow biget na only katim muara na bagarapi muara. Now me play stop na no got water. It come now 2023 and me play kisim muara now. I hate giving me play water. Dear mamas, because past time mi sidal na mi film hatron ba mi kisim water we na mi drink na mi was na mi kakelong. Na now mi looking mo sem walay come close to long house to na mi looking walay lon no tape na mi looking mi amamas big class straight long.
Normally, the villagers fetch water from 3 different natural water sources, which are at least 10 minutes away. Ngawi's husband, 85-year-old Buno Som, was one of the men who had built the dam for Yalo.
When I come down, me got beat from us. Inside of Preciado, me walking dam long, Ashi, 1995.
The Yalo Bore Water project is part of the 2023 priority programs and projects of Ahi Hope Foundation, funded through Ahi Investment Limited's 2.5 million kina dividend, which was paid to Ahi Prudential Development Limited on the evening of April 22nd. The project included the installation of a water pump, 2 tanks and 20 taps around the village, which is located in the Wampa rural LLG in Huan Gulf District. This is only the first phase. The second phase will include the connection of more taps. Susan Oriape, TVWAN News.
The World Health Organization has provided vital equipment to the Ophthalmology Department of Port Moresby General Hospital in the nation's capital to enhance eye health care. The equipment includes a non-mediatric fundus camera, ophthalmoscopes, vision charts, and pinhole occludes. Dr. Simon Melenges, chief ophthalmologist, expressed gratitude for the support, emphasizing the importance of early detection and treatment to prevent blindness, particularly in cases of diabetic retinopathy. The collaboration between WHO and PNG's National Prevention of Blindness Committee underscores the commitment to achieving health for all in the region. The 7 new electorates recently established and have gone into the 2022 national general elections will now administratively be operating as districts. They will require the necessary enabling environment, staffing and resources to fully operate and function as districts.
In 2021, the National Parliament accepted and approved the report by the Electoral Boundaries Commission with recommendations of 13 new open electorates. Of these, 7 electorates had gone to the elections in 2022 and are set to operate as districts. They are Hirikoyari, Popondeta, Delta Fly, Nakanai, Komohulia, Pogera Payala, and Wawaria. In implementing the NEC decision, the Ministry of Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs had mobilized support and partnership from key national agencies to execute this very important task.
Knowingly make a decision. And the reasons for creation of new districts are very, very important, as I said. It's to bring the services closer to people, like now we are realizing your problem.
The interagency team have so far completed verification assessments for Hirikoyari, Popondetta, Delta Fly and Middle Fly districts in Nakanai. Identified and established in these verification assessments were significant issues and challenges to ensuring full operations of these districts. Some of these issues and challenges included accessibility, high cost of operations, lack of enabling environment, infrastructure facilities and utilities, and availability of alienated land for public or state purposes.
You need to identify those issues and present them clearly, so we understand what is happening on the ground. Otherwise, we're supporting the same district who was there, who carried the infrastructure, and we are still supporting that district and not supporting the one that is missing out on infrastructure.
Other matters also relating to administrative operations have also been established and are being addressed by responsible national agencies. The remaining districts of Komohulia, Pogera Payela and Wawaria have not been assessed by the interagency team. Minister for Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs, Soroyoy, has appealed to ministers for Treasury, Finance and Planning, Public Service and Works and Highways and their respective departments to provide the relevant and necessary support to the new districts. This is to ensure the new districts are resourced in terms of staffing and finances for their full operation by 2025. Susan Oriape, TVWAN News.
The PNG National Airports Corporation have begun rolling out the MEX Assessment Management System to our airports. This is in conjunction with NAC's ongoing commitment to implement and maintain the highest safety standards and compliance processes throughout their operations. MEX was developed in Australia, which is a computerized maintenance management system and is used by various industries worldwide, including manufacturing, mining and construction. The rollout will include the training of staff to use the system to effectively register the company's physical assets at all 22 airports. NAC Planning and Asset Management Manager Willie Kibbe stated that the rollout began at the Jacksons and Nadzab airports and will eventually cover all other airports. Gold Entertainment Limited, a newly established music industry in PNG, have seen the country's interest in music from the South Pacific and have decided to announce their second international event of Pacific artists. The event is set for this year on the 10th of June. Gold Entertainment Limited are proud to announce their international event in PNG and will have Pacific artists performing at the Lamana Gold Club. Gold Entertainment Limited, a newly established music industry in PNG, launched on the eve of Christmas last year with their first international daylight concert with artists Saike, Tavintuni, Malmeninga Kuri and Stagaja, as well as Solomon Island singer Young Davis. The 10th of June this year is the set date, and Pacific artists performing here in PNG will be DJ Noise, Kenyon Brown, Bina Bata and Velek Brown. Director of Gold Entertainment Limited, Samuel Lupo, stated that he has been in contact with co-founder of Future Now Music, Mark Martins, who also manages the performing artists. Both Martins and Lupo were in discussion since September of last year when Lupo headed to Gold Coast. This will be the group's first ever show in PNG. The performing artists with their musical journey have shown great achievement, with the song coming #1, Chill, receiving platinum in New Zealand and gold in Australia and New Zealand. In #2, song Lady Love with platinum in New Zealand and gold in Australia and New Zealand. With #3, Senorita the song, with gold in Australia, New Zealand and the Philippines. Another song called Morning Ride with gold in Australia and New Zealand. In #5, Ofamai, the song with gold in Australia and New Zealand. And #6, She Mad, She Angry, with gold in New Zealand. And #7, Amelia, gold in New Zealand. Another well-known Pacific artist joining the group will be the Remix King in the Pacific. DJ Noise will be in attendance. Noise came from humble beginnings of growing up in the small town of Robinvale in the southwest of New South Wales with a strong Samoan and Tongan heritage. He has burst on the scene in 2012 and became a SoundCloud favorite with his unique island-style reggae remixes racking up on an astonishing 15 million streams in the first 2 years being active. This is TVWAN News. We'll have a look at what's making headlines overseas when we return. Stay with us.
There's a sense of pride when you're able to do something right, a financial decision that has just really good benefits. With BSP Life Insurance, there's that alleviation of that worry when you pass away. The benefits of the BSP Life Insurance would meet those expenses on behalf of my family. If you're young and you have kids, you owe it to your children to make sure they're not left behind when you pass on.
With you for life. He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Hiya, Mama. You wait time, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up and big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
All One Talks add some excitement to your festivities with the Flame Easter Bonanza. Win a slice of a whopping 300,000 kina by purchasing the Flame Family Bundle Pack, which includes rice, sugar, flour and vegetable oil, all in one go. Highlight these goodies on your receipt and scribble your full name and contact details on the back and pop it in the entry box in selected stores across PNG. 4 fortnightly draws, 100 winners, 3,000 kina each. You don't want to miss out. This promotion ends on the 31st of May. Flame, strength and energy. Terms and conditions apply.
Hardware House launches the low-cost quick build kit home, built with quality building materials from the leading manufacturer of steel products and kit homes, Atlas Steel. Going now at introductory prices: 1-bedroom kit home at 79,000 kina, 2-bedroom kit home at 99,900 kina, and 3-bedroom kit home at 125,000 kina. You can also opt for solar units to be installed in the kit home at an extra charge. For more information, email info@hardwarehouse.com.pg.
The Seagull's still going. Back on the inside. The straight tower. Kamati, he will score. Just like that.
Generally a reliable source of goals, but he gets the opportunity. Into McInerney and Guthrie overall. He takes McInerney. There's an appetite for pressure if you're Geelong tonight.
Oh, wow! It went like a rocket. He is going to go for goal, and he scores it as well.
The bees are buzzing.
Welcome back. To overseas now, Australia is celebrating a diplomatic breakthrough on trade with China. Beijing has ended a 2-year ban on lucrative timber imports, effective immediately. The federal government is now pushing for China to remove all remaining trade barriers.
A diplomatic deep freeze
It's a good day today, but the weather is a little bit cold.
Shows another sign of thawing.
From today on, the Australian timber is going back to China.
A $600 million export market to China finally unblocked.
Just days after the Trade Minister's visit, Beijing confirming supposed quarantine concerns have subsided.
And I'm delighted to see that as a result of raising those issues, we've managed to get a breakthrough today.
The decision's been welcomed by Australian suppliers who remain wary.
It will take time for people to understand that we want to pivot back to some export. I don't think we'll see it returning to the peak exports that we had.
Billions of dollars worth of other Australian products, such as barley and wine, are still affected.
We've made it clear to China that we think it's in both countries' interest for those trade impediments to be removed.
Australia has a complex relationship with China. Despite being our biggest trading partner, it's also a nation whose regional assertiveness has shaped our security settings. Settings that are always delicately balanced.
This is Chinese Navy.
Underlined by Beijing's rapid militarisation in the South China Sea, a former defence chief highlighting the precarious state of affairs.
Some form of misunderstanding or miscalculation that could result in some sort of serious incident or even worse.
At least, for now, they're talking.
Maternity services on the northwest coast will return to public hands by December after parents aired their stories of traumatic experiences in the private system. The change has been welcomed by medical unions, but they say it won't make a difference unless more staff are recruited.
She now has a happy 9-month-old son, but Shayla Marshall's birthing experience started to go wrong the moment she entered the Northwest Private Hospital, which is being plagued by staff shortages.
I was left in the assessment room for 5 hours, I think, and there was blood all over the assessment machines, like the heart rate monitor. It was just someone else's blood.
She says she wasn't shown how to breastfeed or care for Carter until 3 days after he was born.
I ended up with postpartum depression because I felt like I was just left and I didn't know anything, and then I felt useless to my baby.
Stories of traumatic births at the private hospital led to the government committing to return Northwest maternity services into public hands. That will now happen in December, a year earlier than expected.
Better for mums, better for babies, better for the community, and a more sustainable service for the Northwest Coast.
I think in order for this to be done well, I think December is a reasonable date. Of course, in an ideal world it would happen sooner, but I think the important thing is now that we do it well.
The Doctors' Union warns a new public service will only work if specialists can be lured to the Northwest.
We certainly need 3 or 4 obstetricians to set up practice in that area and become a local service where they support each other, support the women of the area.
The University of Tasmania hasn't offered midwifery courses since 2017, but studies are available locally through the University of Southern Queensland. There are calls for new UTAS courses to be offered to boost student numbers.
Protesters in South Australia could soon be facing $50,000 fines or 3 months in jail under new laws being rushed through Parliament. It follows another, at times chaotic, day of climate change protests in Adelaide's CBD, resulting in 4 arrests and immediate action by MPs.
Splattered paint and multiple arrests. All the result of another Extinction Rebellion action. Protesters gathered outside the Santos building, targeting the company as they railed against an oil and gas conference being held in the city.
I think we are frustrated that we are still not having the impact and the influence that is needed.
Change has not been happening with polite requests, so it is the time for people to start taking more direct action to get the message across.
While Extinction Rebellion members continued their efforts here on North Terrace, the government and opposition jointly moved to legislate stronger penalties to prevent the type of disruption that's taken place in recent days. They've proposed fines of up to $50,000 or up to 3 months jail.
There's ways to do this. Plenty of people are passionate about it. But when you mess up our city like those protesters did yesterday, you deserve to pay.
It took just 20 minutes to get the legislation through the lower house, but it stalled in the upper house. The Greens claiming the laws are a knee-jerk reaction that will have unintended consequences.
Why is it that we can literally shut down our city for 2 weeks for a car race, yet someone who closes off a lane of traffic to protest the climate crisis could end up in jail?
But the government says protesters in this case have occupied resources that could have been used for genuine emergencies.
What cannot be allowed to occur is people to disrupt the rest of the community in such a way that compromises the risk and safety of others.
2 protesters have appeared in court and Santos is already claiming a clean-up fee of $4,900.
And now the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. And that ends the news segment. In sports, PNG Hunters face Winham and Pride host Vipers. Those stories and more with Terry when we come. Stay tuned.
Kids find any opportunity to smile, and when they smile, so do we. At Colgate, we want every child in PNG smiling. To all mums out there, encourage good brushing habits early on. It only takes you 2 minutes to teach your child how to brush twice a day for strong, healthy teeth. Come on, mums, it's you first. Start a healthy habit with Colgate today.
Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Colgate.
Remember the joy of playing with your toys as a child? At Money Plus, we believe that every small business deserves a chance to build and grow. That's why we offer asset financing.
Now chance to building something new, to see a different point of view. With Money Plus, we're ready to go.
Mipla halivim wari belong you.
Buy a 40-channel postpaid TV plan now for only 85 kina and get a free 30-day DTV premium plan. That's right, you get to save 100 kina. With your free 30-day DTV premium plan, you can watch NRL, Formula 1, tennis, or your favorite Filipino dramas on your phone anywhere, anytime. So what are you waiting for? Dial 1515 to speak to a TV agent to get your 40-channel postpaid TV plan today. Digicel TV. More channels, more choice, more value.
It's May Mayhem with Digicel, Mad Money and more. Win over 560,000 kina in cash and prizes. Scalia. Yes, Digicel is giving you more cash and more prizes. There's 8 grand prize winners of 50,000 kina cash each, 100 winners of 1,000 kina cash each, plus 16 prize winners of water tanks and jet sets. Yes, yeah. For your chance to win, top up by 5 kina or more, or buy a Huawei 4G LTE smartphone, and you're in to win your share in Digicel's Mad Money of over 560,000 kina in cash and prizes. Only with Digicel. Better together.
Manufacture here, Dancing Paris can kick his first goal. Welcome inclusion. Strikes it well. Umpire shuffles. They've got 5. How big a swing is that?
Oh, wow! It went like a rocket. He is going to go for goal, and he scores it as well! Benjamin, my goodness. That's a miracle try. And they should go here. Yes. Here's going very dangerous from Dummy Ham. He will score. Just like that from Dummy Ham.
The bees are buzzing.
Welcome back. In sports, the PNG Hunters travelled to Brisbane today for their round 10 clash with ninth place Wynnum Manly Seagulls at the Kaguri Oval, Brisbane, tomorrow at 3 p.m. The Hunters are seated just below Wynnum in 10th place with only a point differential.
After the embarrassing loss to a clinical Townsville Blackhawks side last week, the PNG Hunters would go back to the drawing board to evaluate and regroup for another uphill battle, this time against Wynnum, who are fresh from a bye last week. Wynnum coach Matthew Head said having the bye was really good for the team. However, byes can come at good times or bad times. He said it was a good week, though, to work on the basics over the past 6 training sessions. Head said they're expecting the Hunters to come out guns blazing after the heavy loss to Townsville last week and won't be taking them lightly. Hunters coach Stanley Teppan said the loss to Blackhawks was a real wake-up call for the boys, adding losing by a huge margin reflected our mental preparation. Teppan said the boys know they are a better side. It's just the way the team is playing is becoming an issue which must be fixed before it's too late. Teppan is rallying behind his boys to put that loss behind and move on for the next challenge. He said Wynnum is a winnable side, however, they must turn up with a good attitude and a right mindset and have to be resolute in their defensive effort.
Once tagged as the PNG Hunters, Pete Demon Solowane is slowly but surely working hard to get his old form back this season after his ending foot injury in 2022. Wane has worked really hard on his rehab during the off-season to earn his spot back in the team, but admitted not 100% yet.
While it's good news for Solowane to be out of the casualty ward and back out on the paddock, the 24-year-old winger is still not in his best form. However, he has made some significant progress. With work to do, the best is yet to come. Wane, who has played all 19 rounds so far this year, said it's always hard coming back from a major injury, but he's done well to get to where he is. He's always working hard to get his attacking game back with speed and his defense.
I'd say 99.9%, not really 100%, but yeah, it's good. I had a Lisfranc injury, something to do with toe, so yeah, I fractured one of my bones, so it took me like 3 to 4 months on my recovery.
Wane highlighted lack of commitment and urgency in their defensive sets, especially in the middle blocks, to set a platform for the outside backs.
We need to work on our defensive, especially in the middles. Yeah, so like the outside backs, we depend on our middles, so like our props and our locks, the middle blocks. So if they tear apart, then we sort of come in, and then yeah. So especially on our defense in our middle blocks. Yeah, we need to work on it and yeah, getting better at it. And yeah, on our attacking, I think Jamie and some of the boys are stepping up a bit, so I think we will be okay.
Wane also commented on the improvements in the back line, with Jamie Mavoko and the other boys stepping up, with Morea and Roderick keeping the backs intact. However, they need to be consistent and turn up every weekend, especially when they are on the road.
Yeah, it's been good. Morea and Roderick, Jamie, we're on the right side, so yeah, I think we're picking up on it, so yeah, it's good.
The PNG Hunters play Wynnum Manly Seagulls in round 10 of the Host Plus Cup this weekend in Brisbane.
2 matches are scheduled to kick off round 7 of the Digital ExxonMobil Cup this Saturday. In Pool A, joint competition leaders Leigh Snakes Tigers travel to Western Britain to play Kimber Cutters, while in Pool B, Moniplus NCDC Port Moresby Vipers travel north to meet EMK Civic Pride in Wewak.
PNG Foundation Intercity Rugby League Club Moniplus NCDC Port Moresby Vipers will make their maiden trip across to the northern part of Momase for this Saturday's Round 7 Pool B clash against new franchise and host EMK Civic Pride at the Pora Oval, Wewak. Pride will be up against a star-studded Vipers outfit but would turn up for the challenge nonetheless, with a huge crowd expected. Going head-to-head for the first time with one of the benchmark teams of the PNG and RLC Digicel ExxonMobil Cup Vipers, this would be another grueling challenge for the first-timers Civic Pride, who are starting to take a grip and realize what semi-professional rugby league is all about and the standard is at. This Saturday, the Pora Oval Wewak is expected to be chock-a-block as the soccer-dominated province come together to embrace the return of rugby league at another level to the north. Vipers, given their long and famous rugby league history, this is a must-watch game. Pride have had two tough weekends without a number of their big guns due to injury, losing to Dabaris and Iso respectively. With a number of their marquee players returning this week, this could be an interesting contest if Pride can turn up to match the Vipers' power play in the middle. Meanwhile, at the Peter Humphreys Oval, Western Britain franchise Kimber Cutters would be looking to put up a brave performance against the informed Leigh Tigers. Cutters are licking their wounds after an eventful week travelling by air and land to get to Wabeg for their Round 6 clash against Miox last weekend. It would be a short turnaround for Cutters coach Lucas Samak and his boys, who would love to put some sting into their misery with a strong performance against the Tigers tomorrow 2 p.m.
And finally, the National Sports Institute in Goroka is gearing up to host the PNGA Highlands Momase Regional Championships on Saturday and Sunday, 27 and 28 May. Large teams are expected to travel from Leigh and Simbu, and strong competition is expected in the men's sprints and in the men's distance races as well.
4 athletes will travel from Port Moresby to compete against the NSI sprint squad, with the highlight expected to be men's 400 meters, where the informed Adolf Kauba will face Benjamin Aliel, Caro Iga and a fast-improving Johnny Bai. Although Caro Iga is a better known as a decathlete, he was fourth in the PNG 400-meter ranking list last year, with a 48.61 clocking in the decathlon event. Peter Paike and Emmanuel Meime have both been running consistently good times in the 100 and 200 meter sprints this year in Port Moresby, so have been rewarded with an invitation to compete in Goroka along with Aliel and Iga, thanks to sponsor PNG Air. The men's long-distance races are also expected to be very competitive, with the World Cross Country squad now back in Goroka and turning their attention to the track. The return of 2019 Pacific Games gold medalist Simbai Kaspar and 2 quality athletes who missed out on the WXC will only strengthen the competition. Tournament director Philip Kamane has reported that the level of interest is very high, with a list of 75 participants already submitted by Huon District Morobe, 11 from Mount William and 25 from Kerawagi Secondary. There are expected to be additional teams from Chimbu and Leigh, and all team leaders have been urged to submit their final entries in good time. A schools competition on Friday will precede the championship, and the open men's 400-meter heats will be run on Friday, also in order to allow sufficient recovery for Saturday's final. In the women's events, the main event will be on 3 youngsters who are preparing for overseas competition this year. Sprinter Judy Mitchell, who won the under-18 100 and 200 meters at the last year's national championship, will have her first major competition of the year. Christina Moyang and Suwaire Goye will also be out to impress and will go ahead. Christina Moyang and Suwaire Goye will also go out to impress and will go head-to-head in the under-18 3,000 meters. Christina Moyang and Suaire Goye will also be out to impress and will go head-to-head in the under-18 3,000 meters. Goye, the niece of 2015 Pacific Games gold medalist Miriam Goye, has been leading the way in the Karawagi, which has seen an active athletes program this year under the guidance of multiple Pacific gold medalist Sapole Yao. Athletics PNG President Tony Green thanked the NSI Director Janet Gimot and her staff for again hosting an event and paid tribute to sponsor PNG Air and Prima Small Goods for their continuing support. Rex Lita, TV1 Sports.
And that's all the sports for now. Jasmine.
Thanks, Terry. Tomorrow's bulletin will be at 7:30 p.m. due to the live broadcast of NRL games. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
Bye.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.